Okay, next month is April, and that is Financial Literacy Month, and we're focusing in on our financial fitness.
And joining us today is certified financial educator and author of How Money Works, Steve Siebold. Good morning.
Good morning.
So a lot of people, me, want to change their financial situation. You know, you're always wanting to do better, be smarter, all of those things. You have some top tips about committing to a decision, but a lot of people during this pandemic, it's really taught us about how to, you know, people keep saying pivot, how to be flexible. So we've had to learn new lessons. Can you talk about that?
Well, sure. I would commit to a decision, especially as you say, if the pandemic's taught us a lot of lessons about that, to possibly be more conservative with our money, to save more, to invest more, and to prepare emergency money. So we make sure that in case anything like this happens again, we're fully prepared. And I think that's something you have to commit to.
So, excuse me, would you mind taking that question?
Sure. He's getting choked up. We've all heard the saying that my dad used to say this all the time: money doesn't grow on trees. Is this the right mindset for building wealth? Is that really how we should think about it?
Well, it certainly doesn't grow on trees, and we've all probably been taught that. And I get the idea. It's to make sure that we take it seriously. It's a serious thing. But money is effectively infinite, and it's just a medium of exchange. And so really it should be seen as something that you can acquire as much of it as you really want. It's not something that's really finite, you know, in the real world.
Well, we've been guilty of this morning by going to the Grove and showing these luxury cars. Images of luxury living, they're everywhere, especially here in LA. We got celebrities on social media. A lot of folks are showing their glamorous lifestyle. That can be inspiring for some, but does focusing on wealth help create it?
I tell entrepreneurs all the time, stop buying Ferraris. Now, if you're Kim Kardashian and you have crazy money, then it's not a big deal, but most of us don't. And so we've got to be careful about buying flashy things that are very overpriced and things that we see on TV. Madison Avenue manipulates us all the time to buy things we don't need, to impress people we don't care about or even know. And it's a manipulation that goes on, and it's something we have to be aware of to make sure that we play it a little bit safer with our hard-earned cash.
So if you shouldn't do that, then what should you be focusing on?
Well, saving and investing for sure. You know, making sure that you understand how money works for one. That's why we wrote this book, How Money Works, because we wanted people to understand the basics of personal finance, that you don't have to have a degree in finance to understand. So saving and investing are critical. What you're getting in terms of, you know, your interest rate, your returns are very, very important. So focusing on that, but mostly overall, being more conservative with money and saving and investing and having an emergency fund for the future.
So I got to challenge you right there. You say to save and to invest. So if you look at the stock market right now, stocks are down, so it's going to be difficult to do that, especially because prices are at an all-time high. And if you look at interest rates, they're extremely low. So the incentive to save really isn't there. I've heard one person describe it as what's so dangerous about this market. You got to take a lot of money and take a big risk if you want to make a substantial return. So what do you say to that reality?
Well, the market is cyclical like everything else. And so the long-term gains over 100 years in the stock market are around 10%. So as long as you're a long-term player in the market, you're going to do well, most likely. Markets go up, they fluctuate, as long as you don't panic and sell off like many people do, because unfortunately, it's easy to allow your emotions to guide your investing strategy. And that's a very poor strategy to employ. So you want to have a long-term outlook if you're investing in things like the market, because markets go up and down. As long as you don't sell, you don't lose.
Okay, so let's talk about if your income stream is the issue and you want to do all of these things, but you don't have the money. How is the best way, the fastest way to make money?
Well, start a business. Right now is the best time to become an entrepreneur. Start a business and look at solving problems. Look at your industry, look at your expertise, evaluate your passion for what you do for a living, and see if you can solve a problem. The bigger, in America, in any free market economy, the bigger problem you solve, the wealthier you become. And so you're just looking to solve a problem. So what can you do to start a business on the side that would solve a problem and something you'd enjoy doing as well, since you'll be spending a fair amount of time doing it, that you can create extra money?
But how do you start a business if you don't have any money? You need money to start a business.
You don't always need much money to start a business. There are a lot of service businesses can be started, like, you know, anything like in LA. You got so many wealthy people out there in California. I mean, they need services, right? They need their pools cleaned and their Ferraris polished and their lawns mowed on their mansions and all the rest of it. And those are businesses you can start for a very, very small amount of money. And if you don't have the money, maybe drive for Uber or Lyft or get a part-time job, develop the money, save the money, and then start your business.
All right, the classic advice we always hear is to sleep on it. That's before making a big purchase so you can keep a cool head. So should you always keep emotion out of financial decisions? Pretty obvious you should, right?
Yeah, it's a pretty good idea 100% of the time. It really is, because we get, it's easy to get swept up, and, you have a few extra dollars and you want to buy that big screen TV or maybe a new car or a fancier house or a bigger home. And we're always looking at, how much can we afford the monthly payment? And that's the opposite of what we should be doing. We should be looking at it through the eyes of logic and saying, look, can I really afford this? Is this something, if an emergency comes up, if another pandemic hits, if I lose my job, if rates go through the roof, if, we lose something, will we be able to survive? We need to be thinking that way in terms of logic, as opposed to letting us get ourselves swept up in emotion.
Good information. We appreciate all of your tips. For more financial education from Steve Siebold, you can visit howmoneyworks.com. All right. Thank you, sir. Have a great day.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Here's one thing I would say is
I got bands in the coop, bustin' out the roof. I got bands in